Well, alright, everybody, we are back with TEW9, the Shifting Sands. We are here with the next episode of WWE Monday Night Raw. So let's take a look back at last week's episode where we had a pre-show match of Eugene, Goldust, Jim Duggan, Val Venus, and Viscera defeating the Spirit Squad of Johnny, Kenny, Mitch, Mikey, and Nikki. We opened the show with a face-to-face with Edge and John Cena after Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank at New Year's Revolution and won the WWE Championship. Then the opening contest was Ric Flair defeating Shelton Benjamin for the Intercontinental title and retaining it. Then Ric Flair challenged Edge to the WWE Championship match, which later on in the night was decided that he will face Ric Flair in 2 weeks. So not this week, next week. Edge will face Ric Flair for the WWE Championship. Then Big Show and Kane defeated Cade and Murdoch for the World Tag Team title. Shawn Michaels says he wants gold one more time, and he's going to win the Royal Rumble and get it. Then Shawn Michaels defeated Chris Masters. Then the segment I talked about where Edge doesn't want to face anybody for the WWE Championship. Then we had a six-man tag of Ashley, Jackie, and Trish defeating Daphne, Jazz, and Mickey. Triple H says that he is going to win the Royal Rumble. Then we had John Cena and Rob Van Dam defeat Triple H and Edge. John Cena, Edge, Triple H, and RVD had a brawl afterwards. After I think John Cena pinned Triple H, they all got into a brawl. So I am going to go ahead and book tonight's show. So I will be right back. Alright, everybody, so we are back. We have the entire show booked. Let's jump into everything with our pre-show match. In a pre-show bout that had good wrestling and good heat and decent wrestling, Rob Conway in a 3-minute warning defeated Rikishi, Jim Duggan, and Viscera in 11:53 when Rosie pinned Viscera with the diving leg drop. In terms of in-ring work, Jamal was head and shoulders above everybody else. The crowd heat is expectant and simmering. The wrestling rating got a 53. The crowd got a 59. The segment got a 67. Viscera had a 43. Jim Duggan had a 48. Rikishi had a 53. Jamal had an 83. Rosie had a 69. Rob Conway had a 51. Rosie seemed off his game, and Jamal looked excellent out there. So let's see what... just a commentary quality. Okay, so let's head into our opening segment. So the camera cuts to backstage, Vince McMahon in his office when the door suddenly swings open. Let me get this straight, Vince. Tonight's main event is a 10-man tag, and somehow you got me right in the middle of it. That's right, Shawn. Is there a problem? You know exactly what the problem is. The Royal Rumble is right around the corner, and every week you've got another obstacle for me. First it's the Elimination Chamber, then it's threats, then it's matches, now it's a 10-man tag. You keep stacking the deck because you can't stand the idea of Shawn Michaels headlining WrestleMania. Oh, Shawn, you still don't get it. This isn't personal. I simply don't think you're capable of winning the Royal Rumble. You're older, you're slower, and you're living off moments that happened 10 years ago. Funny, because every time somebody says Shawn Michaels is finished, I prove them wrong. Not this time. You want the truth? If I have anything to say about it, you will not win the Royal Rumble. There it is. That's what it's really about. You don't want Shawn Michaels at the main event of WrestleMania because you can't control Shawn Michaels. I control this company. I decide who gets opportunities. I decide who succeeds and who fails. No, Vince, the fans decide who succeeds. And whether you like it or not, they're still chanting my name. Well, tonight, we'll see how much they cheer when you're laid out in the middle of that ring. Because tonight, you're stepping into the 10-man tag with some of the biggest stars on Raw. And if you somehow survive that, the Royal Rumble is waiting. Good. Because I've spent my entire career proving people wrong, and at the Royal Rumble, I'm throwing 29 other men over the top rope, then I'm going to WrestleMania, and there isn't a thing you can do about it. We'll see about that. So the crowd is hot and rising. The segment got a 77. I hope your New Year's resolution was to survive advanced. And even God shouldn't cross the boss. Vince McMahon was a real star. He clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. I forgot to check, and Johnny Ace is a horrible road agent. The angle got the crowd hotter, and it got the show up to a strong start. And I also changed Sean's gimmick, so let's see what it turns into. And it got a great yes. Not suitable to be used as a heel, gives a small penalty or a small boost to charisma during matches and angles, and gives a large penalty to star quality. Well, that kind of sucks. So let's head to the next segment. In about the good heat and decent wrestling, Eugene and Goldust defeated the Spirit Squad, number 4, in 11:32 when Eugene pinned Johnny with a pedigree. In terms of in-ring work, Eugene was head and shoulders above everybody else. The crowd heat was white hot. The wrestling rating was a 62. The crowd was a 62. We got a 72. Kenny had a 53. Johnny had a 55. Goldust had a 65. Eugene had a 75. Johnny was off his game. And the match got the crowd hotter as well. So that's pretty good. So just inconsistency. Oh, Kenny's got an awful gimmick. And then, okay, I'm going to have to change Kenny's gimmick too as well. So let's head to the next segment. So the camera cuts backstage. Eric Bischoff's working in his office. There's a knock at the door. Come in. The door opens, and it's the WWE Champion, Edge, with Lita. They have an calculated... Eric, we need to talk about next week's title match. The one against Ric Flair? Exactly. Look, last week I wasn't happy about it, and I've had some time to think. And the more I think about it, the less sense it makes. Eric, be honest, what does Ric Flair actually have to gain a title shot? One victory over Shelton Benjamin? Thank you. Look, Flair had a great career, Hall of Fame career. Nobody is denying that. But he is not the future of this company. He's not moving WWE forward. I am. Puts the WWE Championship on his shoulder. I'm the champion people are paying to see. I'm the biggest star on Raw. And quite frankly, giving Ric Flair a WWE Championship match is a waste of everyone's time. Bischoff raises his eyebrow. A waste of time? Absolutely. You know it. I know it. Ric Flair knows it. The guy is chasing a dream that ended years ago. So let's save everybody the trouble. Edge leans on his desk. Cancel the match. The crowd just boos like crazy, and Lita says, it's a smart business decision. Why risk your WWE champion against someone who doesn't deserve the opportunity? Bischoff sits back in his chair amused. You finished? Yeah, I think it's pretty convincing argument. Actually, you just convinced me even more the match should happen. Because for somebody who claims Ric Flair is washed up, you seem awfully nervous about facing him. Nervous? Please. Then you shouldn't have a problem defending the title. And besides, the fans want to see it. Who cares what they want? I do. Eric points to the door. Next week, Edge versus Ric Flair for the WWE Championship. And if Ric Flair becomes a 17-time world champion, it'll happen on your watch. You're making a huge mistake. No, Edge. The mistake would be underestimating Ric Flair. Edge glares at him, storming back out of the office. This is going to be good. So the crowd heat is very hot. We got an 86 for this segment. It advanced the rated R for Road Rage. Edge and Lita have pretty good chemistry. Eric Bischoff clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script. We need better color commentary. And Edge benefited from having being the flavor of the month. And poor color commentary. Okay, so let's head to the next match here. In a wild brawl that had great heat and good wrestling, Scott Steiner debuts and defeats Val Venus in 8:38 by submission with the Steiner recliner. Which also sucks too, is the crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 71. The crowd got a 65. The segment got us a 65. Scott Steiner sustained an inflamed tricep tendon. Val Venus had a 68. Scott had a 74. His Adonis gimmick got an initial rating of great. The commentary quality lifted it. Scott Steiner looked good out there. I'm assuming the dirt sheet disrupted by injury and the commentary quality being very low. So Scott's gimmick gives a small boost to charisma during matches and angles, so that's very good. It sucks that he got injured. Has sustained an inflamed tricep tendon during this match. Okay, so let's head to Scott's promo right after the match. So Scott has just defeated Val Venus in his return match. The crowd's still buzzing. Holler if you hear me play. Scott demands the microphone and paces around the ring. You know something? For a long time I've been hearing people ask one question. Where's Scott Steiner? Well, all you idiots got your answer tonight. Big Papa Pump is back in the WWE. And did you see what happened to Val Venus? The guy lasted as long as a cheeseburger at an all-you-can-eat buffet. See, while everybody has been sitting around talking about the Royal Rumble, talking about WrestleMania, talking about championships, I've been getting bigger, I've been getting stronger, and I've been getting meaner. Now, I came back to WWE, I looked around the locker room, and I saw a bunch of guys who think they're stars. I see John Cena, I see Triple H, I see Shawn Michaels, I see Edge, I see every one of them. And every single one of them better understand one thing. This ain't their company anymore, because when Big Papa Pump walks through the door, everybody moves to the back of the line. And if any of those boys got a problem with what I'm saying, then come out here and say it to my face, because I didn't come back to make friends. I didn't come back to shake hands. I came back for one reason. Championship gold. Whether it's the WWE Championship, whether it's the World Heavyweight Championship, it doesn't matter. Sooner or later, Big Papa Pump is going to have a title around his waist. And anybody in the back that thinks they could stop me, I got 2 words for you. That's funny. Holla! If you hear me. The crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us a 75, so that's really good. It was limited for being short. I only gave him 3 minutes to cut the promo. I didn't think he needed any longer than that. So let's head to the next match. In a decent match, Trish defeated Daphne in 11:47 by pinfall with the Stratisfaction. Trish makes defense number 2 of the Women's Championship. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 52. The crowd got a 54. We got a 62. Trish had a 60. Daphne had a 43. When does love become an unhealthy obsession? Advanced, and the commentary quality lifted it. I wonder what really set it down. Just the low experience and holding back. That's about it. So let's head to our next segment. Tonight, everybody keeps talking about this 10-man tag team match. They keep talking about the teams. They keep talking about the rivalries. They keep talking about momentum. And while everybody else is worried about tonight, I'm already thinking about the Royal Rumble. Don't get me wrong, tonight matters. When I step into this ring, I intend to win. That's what I do. That's what I've done. But let's be honest here, this 10-man tag isn't my goal. It's not my destination. I points towards the WrestleMania sign. That's my destination. WrestleMania. And the only way to get there is to win the Royal Rumble. 29 other men are going to step into that match believing they have a chance. They're going to talk about destiny. They're going to talk about dreams. They're going to talk about opportunities. Dreams don't win Royal Rumbles. Being the best does. Being willing to do whatever it takes does. Being the game does. I won the Royal Rumble before. I've headlined WrestleMania before. I've been the WWE champion before. And after the Royal Rumble, I'm going to do all of it again. So tonight, I'll do what I always do and take care of business. But no mistake about it. When the Royal Rumble comes around, 29 men are standing between me and the main event of WrestleMania. And 29 men are about to learn exactly why they call me the Game. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us an 86, so we're picking up steam here with our segments. The Be Careful Who You Play the Game With advanced. Triple H improvised well throughout the segment, and the segment deserved better color commentary. So I think if we... Something's up with Jerry Lawler, and he's not performing very well as color commentator, so might have to look into that. So let's head to our next match. And about to head fantastic heat and good wrestling, Big Show defeated William Regal in 15-10 by pinfall with his choke slam. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 72, the crowd got a 73, the segment got us a 75. Big Show had a 72, William Regal had a 71, and as a road agent, John Laurinaitis sucked yet again. So it's probably just a lack of the commentary and penalized for the road agent work of John Laurinaitis. We are firing his ass when we are done. So let's head to our next segment here. You know, for the last few weeks, I've had to listen to Edge run his mouth. I've had to listen to him talk about how smart he is, how he outsmarted everybody, how he cashed in Money in the Bank to become WWE Champion. You know what? He's right about one thing. He did cash in the Money in the Bank. He did become WWE Champion, but let's not forget how it happened. He didn't beat me at my best. He didn't step into the ring with a fresh John Cena. He waited until I went through hell inside Elimination Chamber. Then he picked his spot. That's what happened. Now Edge can call that smart all he wants. But at the Royal Rumble, there's no excuses. No briefcase, no shortcut, no opportunity to sneak up behind me. Just me and him. One-on-one for the WWE Championship. And Edge, I know you're watching. I know you're sitting in the back with Lita probably telling yourself that you already beat John Cena. That you've got my number. You don't know me at all. Because every time somebody knocks me down, I get back up. Every time somebody says I can't do something, I prove them wrong. And every time somebody thinks they've seen the last of me, I come back stronger. At the Royal Rumble, I'm not fighting for revenge. I'm fighting to take back something that belongs to me. The WWE Championship, the title I carried with pride, the title I defended against everybody who stepped up, the title Edge stole when I was at my weakest. So at the Royal Rumble, Edge, enjoy being champion while you still can. Take pictures, hold the title up high, because when the bell rings, your shortcut ends. And when the night is over, the WWE Championship is coming home. The champ is here. So the crowd heat is very hot. The segment got us an 83. I hope your New Year's resolution was to survive, and the rated R for road rage advanced. John Cena clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, and the low experience and the poor color commentary killed it a little bit. So let's head to our next segment. Damn it. In an exceptional match, John Cena, Ric Flair, Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, and Shawn Michaels defeated Triple H, Kurt Angle, Edge, Carlito, and Chris Masters in 1837 when Shawn Michaels pinned Carlito with his diving elbow drop. The crowd heat is very hot. The wrestling got an 84. The crowd got an 81. The segment got an 81. Edge sustained a Jones fracture. I don't know what that is. Shawn Michaels had a 92. Jeff Hardy had a 75. Rob Van Dam had a 78. Ric Flair had a 77. John Cena had a 95. Chris Masters had a 79. Carlito had a 75. Edge had an 87. Kurt Angle had a 95. Triple H had a 89. Jeff Hardy debuted his charismatic Enigma gimmick, and it got a great. It advanced all the storylines. Triple H seemed off his game. Kurt Angle seemed off his game. Kurt was off his game, and he had a 95. Carlito was off his game. Edge and Lita have pretty good chemistry. Chris Masters benefited from having a hot new move. Edge benefited from being the flavor of the month. The match got the crowd buzzing. John Cena looked good out there. Kurt Angle looked good. And Jeff Hardy, his gimmick is extremely marketable and will sell far more merchandise than usual and gives a small boost to charisma during matches and angles, so that's good. So let's finish up the show and see what we got here. And we got an 82, so kind of down from last week's 90. It increased our popularity in 12 regions, would have gained 1 in the US, 6 in the British region, 1 in the Japanese, and 1 in the Oceanic. Oh. Oh, well, at least he can get surgery, so it'll be less than 41 days. And Scott Steiner's inflamed tricep tendon can be worked through. It's only a week, so next Monday he'll be fine. The financial report, we made 301,000. The popularity, mostly in Japan and in Saskatchewan, so that's not too bad. And so that is everything for this episode. I will see everyone in the next one.